receipts that...
Nick, I wanted to say I'm quite surprised that you brought me to meet Marc, because I know in Australia people haven't heard of him, but in the US I feel like he's actually been quite discredited because he misrepresents scientists, he's been shown to just make things up, and most worryingly to me, he publishes scientists' email addresses on his website under pictures of Hitler and encourages his readers to then email them, and then they get death threats. So I think that I'm happy to listen to what Marc has to say today, but I'm not going to engage in point-to-point debate.
Well, it's a very aggressive opening, Anna, and I'm sorry if you're taking that approach, and I'm happy for Marc to respond to that. But I think it is instructive if you really want to be open-minded about where this whole debate is at, to talk to someone like Marc who's been actively involved in this issue. What the US does is critical to whether, you know, the world is ever going to do anything about CO2 emissions.
Well, you know I'm happy to debate any legitimate climate scientist. Marc is not a climate scientist, and I feel that the tactics he uses aren't even helpful to your side of the debate.
What a cop-out, Anna. You say you don't want to debate. Is that because you don't know if you have the science on your side? Your reference to the death threats, I proudly post the publicly available emails of scientists who make absurd claims, and I just help bring the public to these scientists who can finally hear the anger, the frustration, the intellectual arguments against them. The point is not to send abuse to scientists. The point is they can hear from the public, and of course, any public figure is going to get a percentage of abuse. Where we are now in 2011 with the whole global warming debate, I argue that from A to Z, the man-made global warming movement has literally egg on their face. And I'm talking from the Arctic, which is now 9,000 Manhattans over the low point of 2007. Sea level, which, contrary to predictions of it accelerating, has actually dropped, an historic drop, according to the European Space Agency and NASA. Polar bears at or near historic population high. Global temperatures that hit their high point in 1998. Claims of 2005, 2010 being the hottest years are based on hundreds of a degree Fahrenheit. It's a political statement. You can't even get a margin of error to even approach what they're claiming. 111 countries, Gallup did a survey. The majority of the human race isn't afraid of global warming. Anna, you should not be affiliated with a movement that proved itself subprime science, subprime economics, and subprime politics. You are the face of one of the greatest threats of our liberty, and that is intellectual, international bean counters trying to control average people's lives because they think they know better how people should live, because if people are left to their own devices, will somehow destroy the planet. It is a mockery. You've been had. You need to go back and re-examine your conscience, Anna.
My conscience?
Conscience.
I'm pretty conscious, and I have looked at the evidence.
Your intellectual conscience. I'm getting silence.
No response to that.
I'm getting silence here. I'm trying to be as personable and likable as I can be.
And I'm curious, you don't want to discuss anything at all?
I'm really happy to listen to what Marc has to say, but as I said at the start, I'm not going to be engaging in point-to-point debate because he is known for making things up.
What did he make up?
Do a simple Google search, you will find hundreds of examples.
What did you make up, Marc?
I don't know. I can't defend myself against non-attacks. This is what she's doing. Basically, she's saying I'm a liar, so she won't talk to me.
And look, it's a real problem in this debate that those of us who are, you know, not prepared yet to be convinced that man is causing dangerous global warming just get attacked personally all the time.
Nick, how can you say that, yet have brought me to the worst of the worst Republican attack dogs? I would have thought that you, of all people, would pick a different kind of spokesperson to take me to in Washington.
Well, I have enormous respect for Marc. I think he runs one of the most interesting websites there is on this issue. He's done enormous work in Congress on exposing a lot of the exaggeration. No, look, I really want to thank you, Marc, for giving up your time.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
Terrific to meet you, Marc.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Good on you, mate.